Hi, Mike from the Rural Montana family. In this video, we're gonna taste the milk that's in these two jars. And this milk has been in here for about 16 months. About 16 months ago, in April 2020, we received a bunch of milk and we canned about 16 gallons of milk. And these are the two last jars we still have. If you would like to know where and how we got the milk and watch the video about canning, I'm gonna put a link right up here. If the link doesn't pop up on your device, look down below in the description for it and go check out those two videos. Anyway, in this video, we're gonna taste the milk in these two jars. Let's go. These jars were canned about 16 months ago, and I kept one of the regular jars with a regular lid and ring, and I kept this jar that has the rubber seal here, which has a snap type closure, intentionally to see if that makes any difference. If we look at them, you can see it looks darker on the bottom, and all jars kind of looked like that. They were all a little darker after canning. You can see there's a little white ring on both jars along the top, and that also happened in the earlier ones, which that's probably just a separation. So I would assume the cream kind of separated some or something. And with all the jars that we previously canned, we had this, we just were shaking them and mixed it up, opened them up, and they were fine. But the first set of jars, I don't even remember how many we had, like 30 or 40 of them or more. I believe it was like 16 gallons. So make sure you go check out the video about the canning so you can see. But we used those up probably within 4 months or so after canning, and they were all totally fine. Now we're about 16 months because we canned beginning of April. It's basically the end of July, a year later. So we'll see how these are. So in this case, I don't think I'm gonna shake them up first. I'm just gonna open them up so we can see what is on top there. So we can smell. They may smell really bad, they may not. And all that said, by the way, if you do stuff like we do here, this is a little extreme because these haven't even been stored in a low temperature. These have not been stored in the darkness. They were just sitting on a shelf in our dining area. So they were exposed to light and they were at room temperature, which is anywhere from probably 60 to 80 degrees throughout the time that they have been sitting there. So you're on your own if you test this and get sick, but we like to test the extremes a little bit, because if these are good now, imagine if we would store those in darkness and maybe around 50 degrees the whole time, then they would last even longer. So let's look inside. All right, let's open up this jar here first. So the ring comes loose real easy. Can popper. Let's see if we can get in here. Look, it had nice vacuum on it. All right. No smell. It smells creamy-ish. Basically like milk. And I believe this was like a 2% milk or so. So let me show you inside. So there's really, you can see there the top ring, and it's just creamy looking. So far so good. Let's open this one. So this one has this snap type closure here and a rubber seal. This is an old jar. The seal is old. I only have one of those, and I just wanted to test it. I believe this kind is still commonly used in Europe for canning. They also use the commercially available lids with the adhesive in there, basically. But you see these quite frequently used for canning in Europe still. So let's flip this open. Oh man. Phew. Not sure if we can get it open. Boy. Wow. It's got, seems to have a good vacuum on it. Wow. Interesting. This just bends the metal ring out. So I gotta see if I can get in there somehow, maybe with a butter knife, and break the seal. So let's try with a butter knife, and I assume it's just a vacuum. Wow, no way, can't get in there. Wow, no way. All right, not very successful. Not sure what the trick is. I assume there's just so much vacuum on it, which is a good sign, then it would be sealed properly. So if you have any tricks on how to open these jars with those closures, hey, please let me know down below in the comments what you do to open these. I mean, if this would just be jam or something, I probably would just kind of pop it from the bottom up or something simple like that, as you do with other jars. You pop them from the bottom, but I don't really want to shake this one up. I would just like to open it and be able to taste that. So I don't know, I guess I have to shake it up, maybe. So, but yeah, it looks like creamy-ish. You can see here, it's just like white cream floating on top. Let's shake it up. All right, so we can still see there's a white line right there. I believe that's a little cream too, which on all the other jars that line will go away as I was shaking it. Same thing here, it starts kind of dissolving. So I wonder if we did build a little bit of pressure possibly, and if we can maybe not. No. Let's see if we can pop it. Okay, still no luck. Well, what other option? I probably could heat it up. That should build pressure again and release it. So I'm gonna I was gonna stick it in the microwave, then I'm thinking this may not work here with the metal on there. That's probably not necessarily a good thing, so I would have to put it in a pot and slowly warm it up and boil it. So it just barely fits in the microwave, and I decided just to try that real quick. Since there's very little metal, we'll see what it does. All right, let's see. Okay. Let's see if we can open it. All right. Oh, I can hear. Oh, I thought I heard a little bit. Oh, there we go. Wow. Now the seal is, oh, there we go. Seal was sticking to the bottom and the top, but we got it open finally. So it seems like it was definitely a good seal. Smells just like lightly warm milk. Let's take a look inside. So yeah, this is how this looks. This is already mixed up, but it doesn't smell bad, neither jar. So since this one's already mixed up, there's not really anything to see on top here. On this one here, let's see. Yeah, it's just a little creamy on top. No bad taste or anything. At least right now. I might be sick tomorrow, then you may never ever get to see this video. But chances are, if you're watching this video right now, it was alright. So, let's see over here. It's got still a little separation. Tastes like the milk it was before. This was only like 1 and 2% milk, so it wasn't very creamy like whole milk. To me, it has some watery taste, just like 1 or 2% milk does, in my opinion. I prefer whole milk. So now let's see if we can stir this one up. Just fine. Stirred up nicely. We got this little white ring. Let's see if we can kind of scrape that off. And mix it in. That actually tastes pretty good. So let's see, we'll pour a little in this jar. There we go. And we'll pour a little in this one. And they look just normal. One's maybe a little darker than the other, but just fine. Let's take a closer look. I don't see anything unusual here. I think this looks just like it looked in all the other jars. Nothing unusual whatsoever. So, no real difference from this jar to that jar. I think this jar was just sealed fine with this rubber seal. I actually never used these before. I just seen them used, and a lot of people say that they may not seal as good as these two that have the adhesive in there. But I think this one sealed perfect. I mean, it was tight. You could see I had a hard time opening it up. I had to warm it up to create some pressure, and then eventually I was able to break the seal very slowly. And this is an old, relatively hard rubber seal. They're usually not even as hard as this, so if I would use new rubber seals, I would be totally comfortable using this setup for any canning method. I think canning anything, I think that works just fine. But I'm not a professional canner, so let me know down below in the comments, are you using jars with these rubber seals, or are you only using these commercially available lids with the adhesive in it? Let me know your experiences down below in the comments, please. I would like to know, because like I said, I don't do this professionally. These are just kind of random things we do and test. We never canned milk before. We just canned this milk so that it doesn't get thrown away. But I'm totally willing to drink both of those. I mean, totally fine. Yep, I would say they taste just like the first jar we opened to the other last jar that was maybe 4 months old. It's not my favorite milk just because it's a low fat, 1%, 2%, but it does not taste any different than it did. Wow, that was 4 months, so it doesn't taste any different than the last jar did a year ago. So I'm fully confident that you can can milk. So that was obviously milk that came from the store, so it was already previously processed. This was not milk that came fresh from a cow. This was previously processed and we processed it again. So maybe it's almost double processed. So I don't know if it will work the same way with fresh milk. If you get fresh milk from a farm directly from a cow that has not been processed, the results may be different. But the store-bought milk we processed here definitely has no issue lasting 16 months in a jar at room temperature exposed to light whatsoever. Fully confident this milk could last probably 4, maybe 5 years even, if you would use that same milk, process it, can it, and put it in a basement, in a root cellar, somewhere where it's about 50 degrees and pitch dark. That would last definitely 4 to 5 years. So, like I said, if you're watching this video, I definitely survived this. So give us a thumbs up for this video, and if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our channel so you get to see more of these somewhat crazy, weird things we do sometimes. So you get to see how we push the boundaries sometimes with things like that. Other things, get to see our videos about the animals we have, sustainable living. We have sustainable transportation videos about electric cars. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.